Hi, this is Mia Get Real. This is Sunday, 11/11, so the actual Veterans Day. No mail tomorrow. I was hoping to get money for my business, and I haven't received a penny. And I got from $81 to $90 a month for the past couple months. I've been seeing a lot of patients doing billing. I don't know what's happening. They told us to not fax this stuff, but to send it in the mail, and I don't know what's going on. When I fax it, I would have the original, and I could go back and see, did I get paid for those? But then I decided I better, besides doing a spreadsheet, I should make a photocopy. And it's like, gosh, it's still more resources, more paper, more ink, stamps. It's just crazy. This video is about STIs and from sex and drugs, and also could be occupational hazards or occupational exposures to things like HEP and HIV, and then of course there's any type of exposure to Ebola, common colds, flus, and then people seem to get upper respiratory infections that seem to be viral, and then it turns into a bacterial pneumonia. Like, there's just all these complications with the human body and all this disease. I get kale that I look at the store, and there's the little bug eggs on them, and sometimes it looks like someone really took a lot to wash them off or brush them off, and then you see all these little circles that are the shape of the eggs. So it's like between bugs and insects and microbes and big things and storms. It's one of those things. I wrote something different in one of my journals about this is week 7 of my online dating experience. I wrote something a little bit different, and it was a little bit like, was it the soul searching week? I don't know. I don't have it right now. But I had the week that I wanted to think about what people thought about sex, and I didn't do any research like I did for love for my one story. And what I found on online dating was when somebody wanted to meet me or talk on the phone, or I thought, oh, they don't say they're looking for a hookup, or maybe they do, but they also say they're looking for a long-term relationship and new friends. I thought that I would meet these guys in real life and like go Dutch, and just like chill, like not have to think about somebody paying. Like I've never really, like, my ex-husband, before we got married, would get money sometimes and buy me Burger King. So I did have somebody. I went through a drive-through, got Burger King, and watched some animes and some, like, I don't know, cult classic movies or whatever with some of the money. So that was like the biggest whining and dining that I've ever done. When it came down to getting ready to meet these guys, or even having text conversations, and then they're wanting so many pictures, but then they want like nudie pictures, or they're hinting on nudie pictures without saying that word. Like, dude, this is my phone. Like, I'm not gonna have this crap on my phone, and I don't even know you, and it's not fun for me. And you just think, like, Mia, how far will you go with that? How far would you go? I was discussing earlier that I had a handful of condoms that I got from a clinic, and I was going to share them, and also share them with my kid to give to the people that she knows, or whatever. Like, you would be scared. Someone said they got their junior high kids condoms. Like they just want their kids to be safe. Like, you just hold on to that, or if you have to use it now, whatever. I can't find them, to tell you the truth. I have no clue where they are. I am not sexually active, and I had one like little makeout session 2 years ago, and I've never kissed, or even, like, I mean, you can hug somebody once in a while, but I've never even kissed anybody more than once in 14 and a half years. It's kind of scary. I feel like a freak. I feel like when I got married, we felt like we didn't get these diseases, and we're promiscuous, both of us, and just like kind of drunks and kind of free spirits, not necessarily on purpose, with him, like with me leaving, escaping abuse, and just not knowing how to treat myself well. I'm not saying a free spirit like just that, but just like being out in the world and just letting people stomp on you or use you, abuse you, and chew you up and throw you out or spit you out like chew tobacco. And with him coming from a poor family and going out into the world, not getting help from family, and just being a beggar, hitchhiking, eating out of dumpsters, even while working, even while having a job, still eating out of dumpsters, not having clothes, not having furniture. This guy had only sugar cubes in his house when I met. It was a rooming house. He had no food whatsoever. They had a shared kitchen. He didn't have food. He'd get, I think it was it 2 bags of chips and a soda. That's all he ate. So coming from a poor family, not eating much, and then being homeless and in and out of jail. So we felt lucky, you know, because not only can you, besides both of us had some sorts of sexual assault, you could get diseases from people assaulting you and, you know, spreading fluids that way. And so part of the marriage thing was that I think it's time we settle down and protect our health. I watched, since at least last night, many videos about people's HIV stories. There was only one of those stories where a woman had her 2 or 3 kids. I don't remember how many kids she had, with a man who was HIV positive and who knew he was HIV positive for many years before she even met him. He did not disclose it. She'd asked him many times before when she first met him. So she was able to have kids with this guy and not know. And thank God didn't contract the disease and her kids were safe. So that was the one lady who got divorced. She got divorced. She was getting divorced because it wasn't working out. And then she had stumbled upon some stuff left in the house when he wasn't home that suggested HIV status. There was one other lady who had contracted HIV, and she had a husband. They were on medications, and her viral load was low, and he was taking PrEP. And she ended up, after being diagnosed, had three kids and a husband who did not have HIV. As far as I know, she didn't say anything about the kids, but I know the husband was negative after many, many years. And not just that disease, or syphilis rates have been going up. Chlamydia and gonorrhea rates are going up. A lot of people have HPV. A lot of people have herpes. And then you have, pubic lice and other, a couple other that aren't really talked about, but the big ones. And it was weird. I was doing a Medscape the other day for my license, and it said, I don't know if it said an 18-year-old sexually active woman needs to be checked regularly for all but, and it had chlamydia, gonorrhea, and HIV. And I was like, dude, she needs to be checked for all of those. And I should have written a comment about this one, because what's weird, when I was in medical school, it could be different now, and I don't remember with the lab results, gonorrhea and chlamydia were always like GC. We always did GCCT for gonorrhea, chlamydia, swab, or urine. As I was getting out of the lab, working out of the lab, it was more of a urine instead of a swab. They were always like tested together, and if you tested positive, didn't really distinguish. Like maybe the lab results, because my patients in my clinic haven't had these tests with me, so it's been years since I worked in that lab. The treatment is pretty much the same, so they wouldn't distinguish. They may have, but in your mind, you're just like, we're testing these two together. Oh, you tested positive for one or both, whatever, you're going to get treated. So I thought it was weird that the answer was HIV, and I thought, in my mind, I guess I thought that they should all be tested, and then I was like, well, gonorrhea and chlamydia, like, I chose, like, one of those. I was like, well, I'm thinking in my mind those two are tested together, so I, like, eliminated one of them and said she definitely needs the HIV testing, and it's like you read and think people were getting. I was watching even a few days ago about porn stars preventing STI spread with unprotected sex. And one guy had 1 month, he tested negative for HIV, and then less than a month later, he tested positive. And when he reported it, the partners to the health department, one of the guys from the porn was, because he was doing women, man porn and men porn. One of the guys was a known positive. And so the reason I'm making this video is like breaking my heart that people knew their status and they continue to spread the disease. And I think it's hard, human nature, when you live and you're somewhat healthy and you're trying to make money off of something so that you can stay alive, and just hush about something, or embarrassing, or lose your career, or saying, oh, if I tell them, well, let's let me use a condom even if no one else does for this filming of the stuff. So I was like looking at cultures. Now 2016, when I had to be as permanent as I could, at least, and it was a day at a time, to get away from toxic people, I was watching people climb Everest and almost kill themselves, or people kill themselves on Everest and other mountains, but Everest, and even the crevasses in the there's K2, there's Everest, like even reading about or watching about Mount Hood, the people the guy that fell into the crater at Mount St. Helens, posing for a selfie or posing for a picture. And I couldn't sleep because I was afraid of retaliation from toxic people when I went no contact, and they learned that I went no contact. I literally went and also started watching people get sober from drugs, and especially heroin, in the US and in Europe. And it just I just want to cry, because it's there's such an addiction. On and off for the past 2 years, I'll go back and watch some more videos about Everest and about people getting sober, and you'll see people on the other side of being in the street are addicted, and not everyone is in the street. And some people will get sober and end up in the street. When I sobered up, I ended up in a shelter. I ended up homeless when I had been living with a husband, both of us working, me going back to school, and having a 2-bedroom apartment. When I changed my life and escaped abuse and substance use and alcoholism, I became homeless with 2 children. Not one family member helped us. Not one. I did what I could. The phone got changed because I wasn't allowed to talk, and it was a dangerous situation. I did what I could to call my closest relatives to tell them my new phone number, and one cousin volunteered to let me talk to her whenever I needed to talk to someone, and I never talked to her since on the phone. Never. I tried to contact her, and she refused to talk to me, and that was 2004. Unless her mom wanted me to try to demand that I call them to gossip about my life, but it became a dangerous situation. So, bringing in STIs and mountain climbing and drug addiction and toxic people, there's things that kill a part of your body, but there's things that whip you into death. An old person falls downstairs and cracks their neck. There's things that whip you. But it's the strength that these people have, and them speaking about it brings awareness to the community. And it doesn't mean because they're speaking about it because they look good, they look healthy, and they're working full time and they have kids. It doesn't mean that they're all the way okay. Some of these people look healthier than I am. Some of these people, when I don't have any diagnosis, some of them look and had a really strong spirit, and they had a lot of these people. Some of these people had new partners. Occasionally some people didn't have partners. It's God, they're going to be like, oh, you cute, what's up? Oh, yeah, let's hang out, let's eat dinner. Okay, now someone wants to come to my house and kiss me. No, don't touch me. I have HIV positive. They would say that to their partner. Their partner's like, okay, I don't care. Or that one lady, last name Vaughn, she talked about having a partner when she found out, and her partner's still with her today. So I think it's interesting. It's like, oh, I don't have any of that stuff, but I'm like single all the time, and I wonder, because of one of the reasons about getting married, I wonder if I was so afraid of contracting something from somebody. So I'm just right now, that week that I was wanting, so it was usually Saturday, Friday, changed the week on Friday or on Saturday morning, because I thought that was about the time that I signed up for I signed up for Match.com first, and I found out I couldn't do anything without paying, so I signed up for OkCupid, another site that we'll talk about, because that one has had like so little interest. I ended up just thinking that nobody wanted to go out with me because they were all looking for a booty call. They were all looking for just sex. Even if, like, one guy was all like, the one guy's like, oh, you don't have anyone, you didn't do anything for your birthday, oh, you should tell me, I would have took you out. And then this guy was like, oh, good morning, this and this and this and this, throughout the week, early in the morning. I was like, oh, I think this guy's real. He's like 43 or 41 or whatever, around my age. And it ended up with me saying, after he said he was in a shower, I had to do the same thing. And he's like, oh, send me pictures. Oh, you're probably wet and slippery. Oh, I want pictures. And I was like, dude, are you looking for a hookup or to hang out? And he was like, one than the other, hopefully. And I was like, not my style. I never heard from him again. Like, he didn't even want to try to go out and, like, see, obviously he wasn't, like, just looking for a relationship. It's not like you're going to meet somebody, go sit with them at a coffee shop and say, oh, we're in a relationship. But it wasn't like he even tried to do short-term dating, like one-time dating. It was, like, pretty much all or nothing. So that happened to me many, 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 many times. Or it happened that people said, oh, I want to go out with you. And I'm like, your profile says you're looking for a hookup. And then you're like, oh, yeah, hookup, LOL. And I'm like, well, and it's not like they even asked me out, because I'm just like, well, I don't have sex with strangers. I didn't put that in my messages to them, but I was just like, I don't do that. And sometimes it's like, oh, it's so lonely. I'm sitting here on my days off, and I actually have days off, and there's nothing to do. I'm so lonely. Maybe I should just say, oh, yeah, let's meet in a public place. But I'm like, I told a couple guys, like, I'm not a tease. I'm not going to, I feel like I just want to go out and just be like, okay, nice meeting you, bye, and not go back to their place or whatever. But I'm like, if that's all they want, then why should I even go out with them? Because I'm not going to get what I want, and he's not going to get what he wants. And what I want is, like, I hate using the word friends, but someone to be friendly with for a couple hours and chit-chat and see where it goes. And if it doesn't work, then you leave after 10 minutes. And if, and I didn't feel that I wanted to plan to go have sex with a stranger, or even someone I knew for a couple of weeks. And the scary thing is that I know I have a past of promiscuity. I always carried condoms with me, and I didn't go out back then. I met people online back in the 90s, but it was a little bit different. Like, you'd meet groups of people, single people, couples. It was just really fun to do that 90s online chatting. So I ended up, like, I'm, like, so hungry right now, guys, and I'm, like, I feel so overweight. I feel like I'm, like, super, super, my weight is, like, really messed up. Anyways, I told myself after that little fling that whatever happened, I don't want to go into detail, I ended up going to get tested for everything, and I was really scared because me and this person were broke. I lost my job. I had got another job was it just then? 2016? I stopped accepting money from my relative. The housing still considered me receiving this money, so my rent was jacked up super high, so any of my savings was gone. I could barely afford gas to get to work, and even to this day, I still use credit cards to do gas and food and female products, and anything that comes to the house is put on a credit card. Like, I am so, like, I pay it off, but I don't have, like, oh, look, if you need thousands of dollars just for your housing and your phone, I look at it and think, I don't want to overdraw my account because I want to buy $30 worth of gas or $30 worth of groceries. So it's really, really sad. Or toilet paper or whatever. If I was even going to be alone with the guy, if I asked some women in my community, they'll ignore me until after I was alone with the guy. Like, what does it mean when a guy wants to watch a movie or wants you to come hang out and watch him play guitar? Like, what does it mean when they say their mom is gone? And I didn't really know because I'd been alone for, at the time, 12 and a half years. And neither of us had money. I didn't have food. He didn't have food. He gave me a couple of his mom's carrots. Someone else gave me a carrot earlier. That's all I ate that day. I brought a cup of tea with honey, and I thought I was going to pass out, because that's all I had. So I couldn't even, even though it was like a dude, as a woman, as a hungry person, as a adult with some type of job, I was making less than my rent. I couldn't even, order pizza and a salad and be like, let's just watch a movie and eat a pizza salad. Like, he made some kind of biscuits and gravy. I couldn't eat it. He offered me some. And let alone affording to go to the store and buy, protection, or if this guy was a smoker, even going and, smoking all his cigarettes down to the nub and then trying to re-smoke them. That was one of the worst days of my life, knowing that I put myself at risk because I had no money. And in a life and death situation, just like when my grandma died, she never met my kids, her grandkids. Sometimes you wish, even if you have to do a payment plan, put that sucker on a freaking credit card, because this is life and death. This is no turning back. Once grandma died, there's no way to say, oh, by the way, I should have got, then my relative paid for me to get on a plane to go back east to go to funerals. Heck, I wish I had that money to even take a Greyhound bus to visit her, or meet her halfway or something. And actually invited her many times, and she goes, I'm too old to travel, then she ended up traveling all over and going on a cruise and doing all this stuff. Brother did the same thing. Oh, I can't afford to come visit you. Oh, I don't have time, I have to work. And then you see pictures of them on Facebook all over Europe, all over Canada, New York City. You're like, really? Okay. And you have relatives you say to visit, and they don't visit, and then they're right in California visiting, or in Reno or something. I'm you could take an extra plane for $160 and come see us. But I'm not hospitable. I don't have a big house with a spare room and extra stuff for people. So, and since we never did, my kids never want anyone strange in our house. It's not set up for that. This house isn't set up for any kind of privacy. So to think something life or death, I don't even know how much that stuff costs. It could cost $10. It could cost $3. I don't know. Used to have that kind of stuff inside of bathrooms, public bathrooms, condoms, and machines. Everything was negative, and this is really embarrassing. I had these women now find out that I was with this young white guy, and they're like, break it off with him, it's not appropriate, you shouldn't be with this guy. All these people were either married, most were married, or had fiancés, so they had been married 6 times, and they're blonde, blue-eyed, they got whatever they want. And I think part of them, they see this black chick with some young white dude, and they're kind of well, that's not right, break it off. And because I did something like that through text, this guy probably freaked out, because I didn't want that. I felt like God was no, this is your buddy, whatever, your friend, this is a friend of yours. And it broke my heart that I said that stuff. And one of the most dangerous things about it is getting the test results. I think you have to wait a week or 3 days or something. I don't know how long you have to wait to call. And I had a biopsy the day before, so I couldn't even drive downtown. I had to take a medical transport. And they were 2 or 3 hours late getting me. I was waiting in this clinic next to the front door. I think was it cold out? I don't know. There's nowhere to sit outside. There was homeless people out there, and I was looking at I was so broke. I was standing outside near Chinatown, or like, I don't know if I was near Old Town, Chinatown. It wasn't too far. I was downtown Portland, waiting for hours for this cab to come, medical transport. After getting tested and having been like a brainwashed, cult-like Christian, like, it was like, don't even look at men, don't even hold their hands. I was like, I made out, I did more than that. So I felt like guilty and irresponsible, and I felt so broke. I saw all these strip bars down the street, and I texted my friend because she lived out in Sherwood, or I don't know, she lived out kind of far from downtown. She goes, "Oh my God, I'm sorry you're still waiting. I wonder how long it's gonna take. If they don't come, like I can come get you." I was like, the insurance was paid for this, and I was just frustrated because I had a double biopsy the day before, and then I had to get the ride here, and I couldn't go to work, I couldn't do anything, I couldn't go to my meetings. A couple ladies, her and one lady, I said publicly in the meeting that I needed a ride, so 2 ladies and a guy said that they could give me a ride, and I was scared of the guy. I've been taught to be afraid of guys, and I don't think that I'm a tomboy. I would probably have better luck just being friends with a guy, whether they're married or not. It's just like, I'm not trying to get anyone's pants. Obviously, like, if I was trying to get in someone's pants, then I probably wouldn't have been alone and have had no contact with men, or even been alone or talked to about a phone for 14 and a half years if I was really looking to try to hook up with somebody or anything. I looked at these strip bars and I thought, oh my God, I'm so broke. We're about to be evicted because I'm not going to be able to pay my rent. My income is so low. I said I should go try out to be a stripper, and I was dead serious. And it was so serious that I brought it up with my daughter. And she goes, don't use our family name. Don't do it because I don't want my family name. And I said, I have no money. Like, I can't support my kids. I can't pay my rent. I can't pay my car expenses, my repairs, and I can't buy food. And I can't go to the doctor or dentist. I couldn't do anything. I was using savings added to my paycheck, and it's just, you wear rags, you have a dress code. My kid bought my dress code clothes, and my shoes that I need for work. I needed black socks, black shirt, black pants, black shoes, and I had my kid bought that. Last Christmas, I put 2 pairs of pants. I said, I'm going to support, this is not right that I'm working as a physician. I make negative income, and I'm working this, it was a little bit more than minimum wage job, but it was only a few hours a week, and I can't even freaking afford the pants that they demand that we wear. We're going to get in trouble, maybe fired if we don't wear the right color pants. I couldn't even afford it, so I threw a couple pair of pants on a credit card just to say that I can at least buy my uniform. I'm not looking to drive a fancy car to work. I'm not looking to get a fancy lunchbox or fancy purse. I'm just looking to follow the dress code. They don't provide a uniform. I'm looking for that little light. And, let's see. I'm looking for the light. I have no idea where it is. It's fallen. I just used this white paper because my skin is black. I have to use something white. Hold on. It's like not even this dark in here, guys. I'm gonna turn the light on. And it's really embarrassing because I was on this group for naturopaths, and there was a meme saying, oh, now that I went to med school and I have no money, I strip, I do stripping, I strip at night or something like that. It's like, And it was something like that in the picture of some, you know, it was like a picture, like a hand-drawn picture of some white lady that looked semi-professional. I was like, I saw that every time I went to this Facebook group, and I thought, that's funny, but it went through my mind because I made zero the first year. I keep saying if I made a penny, then I could not say that I made zero. Not even gross zero, or not even gross a penny. It's a nightmare. I see some of these people that have the HIV or even the drug addiction and the climate Everest. I see all them being able, like, you see their house or their bed or their furniture, everything looks so nice, their clothes look so nice, they got their hair and nails done. And I think, how do these, like, even these people have enough to pamper themselves, take care of themselves? They have a support network, they have family, their friends, their kids, they have doctors and counselors, and they have certain services they sign up for, and social work and groups that they belong to. And I feel like so isolated in the world. Um, so it's like I don't want to deal with the sickness or the addiction. You know, I've been through stuff before in the early years, and I wasn't isolated. I did have counselors and, you know, have to join these groups and stuff. So it's like that pink cloud of changing your life, or your life changes because something scary is going on, and you're not dealing with it alone anymore. Or if you make a change. So the big scare is, besides putting a life in danger, like playing Russian roulette with somewhat of a stranger, like not even being able to talk about what is, like, while you're in the act, then you bring up, oh crap, do you have any diseases? Oh my God, what about pregnancy? Like, that talk came up briefly, and because these women told me to break it off, I'm sitting there all alone in this downtown clinic, and then waiting on the bench, and then waiting forever. Had to use the bathroom. Don't think I brought any food. I might have brought a banana and a bottle of water, but I probably had just been nibbling. I hate to, like, eat if I'm not home and I'm stuck somewhere. I'm not going to eat the whole banana. Like, oh well, I'll be home soon. Like, I don't know if I'll ever get home. I have to freaking walk or take the bus during rush hour, and because of these women, sometimes it's like, move my skin a certain way, like, it makes me feel like electricity. These women told me to break it off with this guy. What if something had come up? I wouldn't have even been able to talk to this guy. Like, they gave me plan B, and the one woman's like, oh my God, don't use that, that's like abortion, oh my God. And I think she had aborted a baby. I don't know if she had a baby, they were having an affair or what happened, and she was like, oh, I wish I never did that. And this lady also had a child die because of addictions. They were in and out of treatment, and they actually got a bunch of drugs from people in treatment. Like, I don't know if it was like feeding drugs, like, not some of the drugs they might have got from the counselors, but I think they got it like illegally. And she had OD'd on some of these drugs and died inside the family's house as a young adult. And I think that same lady was trying to get sober. She was using energy drinks, because the guy I was with, that lady's like, oh, I'm concerned about him. He's using these energy drinks. And for all I know, that guy could have been tweaking. There was some stuff that I started thinking, oh God, I think he's lying to me. He's trying to pull a fast one on me. And I ended up just, if I had something or got pregnant, I would have not been able to talk to this guy. Because I blocked him. I was mad because I saw him one other time. He's like, no, I don't want to hang out. I never heard from him. And we never chatted through Facebook anymore. And I thought, the lesson I learned, since I had also gone through my husband committing adultery and trying to commit adultery, purposely telling me he's trying to go find chicks to sleep with. I got really scared. So some of these chicks he liked, he had a crush on, were one was a heroin addict, one was shooting speed. It scared me. One chick that he was successfully cheating with was like a drug whore. She had her own husband or boyfriend, her own 2 kids, but she was sleeping with men. Because her husband, they were handicapped. Her husband wanted to hear her sex stories that turned him on, and she was sleeping with like drug dealers. It would be like, I don't know. I remember train spotting it. I feel like there was some of that kind of stuff. So I was really scared of sex for the first time after having part of my marriage be based on keeping disease free as part of our lifestyle and coming up with creative ideas as a couple. Pretty much there's a lot of crazy, like if I was going to do a series on crazy intimacy, that would be really weird. Like, and what's weird, I had a younger guy, I don't know, he might have actually been a gigolo or something, I don't know. Now that I got some text while I was asleep one night, and I was like, what does he mean? I had some stuff with this guy talking about having the best sex and doing this and doing that, and I had another guy, one of the first guys was a dom, and I didn't know what that meant really. And this guy was talking about kinks and stuff, and I was just thinking weird sex, but I was looking more into kink. Like, this was one of the early guys that I almost gave my number to, and that I found out he lived far away, and I was just stopped. I was like, stop messaging him, and I told my friend his name online, and I was like, oh crap. She's like, you come from a abusive background like this. Like, I don't know, maybe that guy would have been perfect for me. Maybe I needed to be a sub. You never know. But it scared me. I was shaking all day at work after she goes, go look it up right now. I was like shaking and like just, I felt stupid and ignorant. And some of these guys, there's 2 guys that I'm talking about. It's like, I'm not going to say on a text or on an online message. The thing is, that stuff was from my past, and it was with what I thought was a monogamous partner, and there was some crazy stuff that was supposedly fun, but it's like, I'm not just going to, like, I've been alone, like, I'm just like, be gentle with me. I'm like, I'm like a virgin. Like, it's like, I just want to be like, someone said that when they had a sugar daddy, they're like, no, I'm a virgin, and she wasn't. She's like, and I'm not going to have sex with you, don't kiss me. I'm waiting till marriage. And then she would have these long-term sugar daddies that she set her boundaries. She didn't want them kissing them because these people were non-monogamous, but it was more of a companionship, friendship, not a boyfriend, girlfriend, or more than sugar daddy. More like some people do it in the prostitution. But not, so the 3 big things I learned were, what does it mean when a guy asks you, can you come over? Or, especially it's late night. And some of these guys nowadays are like, first thing in the morning, I look at my phone and like, can you come over? Can I come over? I'm like, it's 9:20 in the morning. What the heck? But I'm thinking in my mind, like, just like, did you work or something? Like, and it's hard because you want to be like cool. It's like my ex-husband. I had this thing with my ex-husband telling me, all you are is just a mom. I hate you. I'm going to go. You're so boring. I'm going to go find some young chick to go screw and have a relationship with. And they're like, you're just a mom. That's all you are. It's so lame. It's so boring. It's not fun anymore. And so it's like, I have kids that have to go to school. I work in the day and in the afternoon and in the night. And I'm thinking, well, okay. So what does it mean when a guy says, come to my house, or can I come to your house? And they're not like, hey, you want to meet up? Can you come to my house? Like, I don't know. They're just like, come. I'm like, why? For you. I had that a couple times. For you. You're coming for me. You want me to come to your house, or you want to come to my house for me? What about me? Are you trying to have sex with me? I was like, are you down for a game of Scrabble or Monopoly? Like, Monopoly takes too long. Like, a game of Scrabble. I was almost about to call some guy who was like acting really weird. I was like, I'm down for doing this guy. Let's meet somewhere. And I'm like, God, this guy's gonna reverse. I told this guy at work, this guy's gonna reverse phone number me, and end up on my porch. I get home from church with a big Scrabble board, and I'll be like, oh. So I didn't go there. I thought about it. I really wanted to play Scrabble that week. This was like 2 weeks ago. So what does it mean when a guy says this, 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 and this? Because I used to be really good at communication, and then I got really bad. Things change after I have kids too. It's like energy sucks. But other things cause me to mess up my brain. And so communication is key. I learned what to ask. And why is it always the guy trying to get the woman to do something? Why is it always, that's the thing that says sleep all day. Why is it always the guy that's like, do this, do that, do that? Like, they don't do what, like the woman, if the woman wants to go meet up at a public place or Starbucks and just like chit chat and get to know each other, see if there's any chemistry. Like, I'm really about seeing if there's even chemistry. Like, why waste time online? But then I'm so busy. And then when it's my day off, like today, I'm just sitting here like freaking myself out. Listening to the wind blow under the front door, which I was doing an hour ago or 45 minutes ago. The second thing is, so I just want to make a scenario because I'm having a hard time saying this happened to me because it's embarrassing to say it. The first thing, what does it mean when the guy's like, come over? Or I'm like, oh, let's meet somewhere. And they're like one guy's like, oh, I'm really tired. Can you come to my house? You can come look at my art. You can come look at this. Because I think they just want to like reel you into their house to try to start putting the moves on you. And I'm just like my body probably, I'm like 40 something years old. Like my body probably wants sex. But it's just, my mind is just not there right now. Like, the thing is, I have addictive personality, and I know how I was as a young adult, and it didn't really stop. And my gynecologist cried more than once because of my habits. So there's some of that, like, dabbling, like, you quit alcohol and you're done with alcohol. But as a Christian, you're taught God, oh, am I going to go have sex with someone right now? Like, then you're just, like, torn. But you're like, let's do whatever during power meditation when it takes real time. So one is, what does it mean? What are you getting yourself into? And hanging out at some guy's house. A guy went into someone's house once for a minute and he showed me something and I'm like, caught in my hand's house, I'm acting like a jerk and I'm leaving. He was with the biggest puppy dog eyes. I didn't know what it meant. Like I said, I had not been with any man, no talk, no text, nothing for years. A couple guys from my meetings called here and there, but it wasn't really anything. It wasn't anything, nothing romantic or anything. It could have been started to be romantic if they were married. Then I would be like, I'm not talking to that guy. If they weren't, then these guys would go crazy on me. When I actually started saying, okay, maybe I'll pursue this guy's flirting with me. Maybe I'll pursue it. And then they told me I was crazy. They were like, you're the one who started it. Even if I went to the house, I could still turn around and say no. No, I'm not going to stay. But you have to be careful, not being overpowered or raped because they're so close to like trying to just like throw you on the couch or the bed and like ram bam, thinking ma'am. So what does it mean when a guy says a certain thing and getting yourself in a situation if he's kind of calm and not a sex offender mind? Then you can say no. You should be able to say no anytime, but some people will take over your body and assault you. So that's a scary situation to be. The second one is do what little Mia did and just carry stuff with you. Even carrying stuff with me multiple times from age adolescent, teenager to carry condoms, adolescent, teenager to less than 20, like 18, 19, I've had people in the mood and getting ready to have sex or something, and they're like, oh shoot, we don't have any condoms. And I've given them, I wasn't even really having sex, so I gave them. I had extra, I wasn't like, oh, I have one, I gotta save it for a special time. I had like a box of them, or a bag of them. So I would share which could have prevented someone else from getting HIV. So it's not always just like whether you're promiscuous or not, whether you're Christian or not, having that stuff on you. You can hear someone say, oh, I met someone, I'm going to date him for the first time tomorrow. I could whip out something as soon as I find them and just say, here, just in case. You never know, and if you don't use it, look at the expiration date and share it with somebody. So that you should always have it on you. If you have a partner and you both been alone, not been having sex with anyone for years, and you could both whip out your test results, you could either believe it or not, because they could have had sex with someone last night and contracted something, or last month. You could still have it on you, and like insurance or seatbelts, you hope you don't need it, but you have that protection. That was a big thing. What does the guy say? One, what does it mean? Communicate. Ask them what it means. Sometimes I wish I didn't ask these guys if you're looking for a hookup, because I wanted to go out with somebody, especially on my birthday month. It made me really sad. And then out of desperation, I went and kind of like didn't hook up, but I like went on a rebound with some crazies in lieu of not going out with someone that was kind of like for a week being really calm and really gentlemanlike. And that messed me up. I was like, should I have gone out with this guy? Like, I should have just cut my mouth shut. But then again, communicate. You don't want to be a tease. You don't want to have some guy guilt trip you into blue balls in him and saying, fine, you owe me sex. Like, you don't want to be guilt tripped or assaulted. So then things happen for a reason, and that happened, and you don't know what kind of diseases this guy, like some of these guys, that they broke it up. You don't know if they could just be like, oh, I need to, and I'm a stick who needs a hole, and I need it now. I don't care who she is or who he is or what it is. So you have to be real careful with that. So one, what does it mean? The guy says that, communicate, ask questions, say no, or say what you're into or what you're willing to do. Sometimes nothing's in stone, and there's not always or never. So who knows what would happen if they were more gentlemanly like and I went out with them. Who knows what could have happened. The second one is the condoms. Just figure out how to have that stuff on you. It's embarrassing if you have children that are teenagers. It's embarrassing if you set an example of being celibate, but you don't know. You could be at work and someone could be like, oh, you're getting off soon, so am I, or something, or like a customer or whatever. A lot of bartenders, like this woman has said she went home with a lot of customers, drunk guys, and slept with them. And, like a lot. Not like a lot, but enough to be able to say that she had slept with a lot of her customers. When the bar closed, they just went home together. So you don't know what situation you could be in anywhere, any time of day, to have that stuff on you, or know that you're going to go to the store and grab something. If you start making out on the couch, be like, oh, like, I don't know if we're going to go all the way, but let's just take a break and go up to the local convenience store and buy a box of rubbers. I used to call it that. 3, one of the biggest things I learned was, besides listening to these fools that don't want to see single black women ever having any kind of friendship with a man, especially if they're blue-eyed white dudes, be real careful about breaking it off of somebody suddenly. Especially if in your heart you feel like you shouldn't. Even if your friends that didn't work out and you see them on Facebook with a chick the next week, which I actually saw him on Facebook with the chick the next week, and I think she actually tagged him in the picture. I was like, what the heck? It was just, they were together somewhere on the coast of Oregon, and I was like, who is this chick? But then again, that's not my boyfriend. And at that time, these women already told me to break it off. So, what if something had been possible? Anything. Or what if there was an emotional issue related to it? Or even if you left something at their house. If you just totally break it off, especially if you feel in your heart you need to, or it's a safety issue, or you just don't want to go there, you felt like you didn't do the right thing, or it wasn't the right person, that's one thing. But I don't think you should let somebody else tell you to break it off, unless they see a danger or they know somebody, like, oh, such and such, gave my friend's sister to clap or something. Like, you got to be careful. Like, sometimes you can listen to something and try to figure out whether you want to take a chance and believe them or ask the question. But if something were to turn positive, or it was an emotional issue, or some kind of physical thing, or like you said, you could have left your spare keys at their house, you break it off with them, they block you, you block him. Now you have no way to get a hold of them. Or what if you got retested? You never had sex with anyone for 12 years, and you got retested for a couple of things a few weeks or months later, and then it turned positive and you weren't with anyone else. You would need to be able to contact. I mean, the state would contact them because it would be mandatory reporting. But for any other reason, they're not going to contact you if you became pregnant or this happened. I think that you should keep communication open if it's safe to do so. And that's a real problem with me right now, is I'm not communicating well with men for the online dating. And I feel like I'm scaring myself. I feel like there's a couple of guys that have texted me early this morning, and I accidentally pocketed out one, and now I'm afraid of my phone. And I keep looking at my email to see if this other guy I wanted to meet in real life was down with going out somewhere today. But I don't know, because now it's getting dark. It's almost 5, and I gotta work and take my daughter to school and do all this stuff tomorrow, and it's just a mess. My life feels like a mess. It was 3 things. What does it mean when a guy says this? Or it doesn't matter if you're a man for a woman, or a man for a man, or a woman for a woman. What does it mean with a person that you're trying to think, oh, this might work out, even if it's short term, even if it's one day? Try to communicate about what each other wants and what each other's looking for. I like to be more organic and fluid in real life. I like to be like, hey, I'm free tonight, you're free tonight, let's hang out. That's how I like to be. And I think for me, I also, I asked myself during soul searching, do you want to be one of those black women statistics from Match and other online sources? Oh, they're never going to date you. They're never going to want to be in a relationship with you, but they would use you for a one-night stand because you're a black woman. So you're going to get less dates, less people interested in you, and if they are, it's only going to be for sex, and you're going to go over there thinking that you're going to make friends or get a dating partner, and they're just going to have sex with you and dump you and kick you out of their house. So that's, like, that had happened to me when I was a young adult, and it sucked. It was the most depressing, heartbreaking thing. I wanted a long-term relationship, and nobody was interested, except for a couple of guys. And I don't want to be a statistic. Like, during soul searching, you're like, well, some people would do the fill in the blank for this woman. Well, maybe she thinks she's got to do this booty call because that's the only way she's even going to be with a man at all. At least she'll have a couple hours of intimacy and go back home and be alone again until it happens again. You know, and we don't get any younger, so it's like you feel like you may get to an age where you don't even get that. So I don't want, like, doing soul searching, it's like I don't want to be like that, because there's plenty of people that, at least from the computer or in text, like, they were wanting to have sex with me, and I just didn't do it. I didn't meet him, I didn't go out with him, I didn't call him on the phone, and pretty much most of them ended up just not talking to me anymore. Like I got busy and I ended a conversation, or I got temporary, or like the guy with the wet shower thing, I was probably actually in the shower when he was talking to some other guy, dumped me while I was sleeping. Like, I was just like, alrighty then, you guys made a conclusion about the type of person I am. But it's like, are you really looking for a really sleazy chick that could be full of diseases? And it's like, and I'm not fine. I'm like really scared of guys right now. I didn't realize how scared I am. Like, so it's like, you're looking for someone who's going to be like freaking out because someone likes me. And someone likes me, I pretty much treat him like crap. Like, because I'm so scared that, like, I was taught to hate myself, so I'm thinking there's got to be something wrong with this guy. And then if he's cute and abusive, or cute and just wants to hook up, then I think, oh man, I'm mad that this guy's not asking me out. but there's like 10 other guys sitting here saying, you said you go out with me, when are we going to go out? Well, I could go out today. Look at me. I'm sitting here in dirty clothes. It's a cute sweater though, and I smell like onions. Actually, I don't. I did earlier. I was eating onions yesterday. So, anyways, I was going to keep this at 10 minutes, and I didn't. I feel like this last week was, until Friday night, Saturday morning, today's Sunday, was romance. Love romance. The week before was unconditional love. And now this week, I believe it's the 3 to 2 to 1. I think it's the in real life. IRL week. And that's in real life. So I had said, I think this is what I said for this week. 3 guys. You should, if there's 3 guys, if there's even 3 guys that are interested in meet up with those guys. And just see what it's like. And then the next week, 8 was Thanksgiving week, meet up with you guys, whether it's the same or different. And then meet up with one, and then see if you're victorious and you actually can go out with someone a second time. Like that's just like my experiment portion. The romance week was flatline. There was nothing. There was no phone calls. There was a few texts here and there, most of them at 6:30 in the morning, after working and getting home at 2 a.m. So the biggest thing about this video today, again, it's really long, was just the safe sex and communication and the amount of people that are spreading disease. Like, it would even be an issue if that person A is HIV positive and person B is not, or no one knows each other's status, or if this person asks this person's status and then, I don't want to talk about, I'm clean. Like, if this person, man or woman, knows their status is positive, they need to tell this person. First of all, they need to tell this person. The bare minimum, and I don't condone this, like, I think they should tell them what this person, someone kept saying they didn't get to make a choice. They didn't get to make a choice. And they got HIV. The bare minimum is to use protection. Now, that's not always foolproof. It's gonna fall off, break, whatever, someone put holes in it. Defective product. We had, with my ex-husband, we had bought a pack of extra strength. I think it was name brand, like extra strength Trojans. Every one of them broke. I swear to you. I was like, wow, these all broke. Like, I should have written the company, because it's like, how many other people use these extra strength? The thinner ones were like more malleable or whatever. But I was like, the whole package was like all defective. Or they just broke. And no, we weren't using oil-based anything. Because oil can break it down, the condom material. It was really scary. It was like, oh, that was a rip-off. We paid more money, and they didn't even work. But I was in a marriage with someone, supposedly I was being monogamous. And I can imagine some other situation where somebody used that and it broke. But I clearly remember that. We would do a lot of different things, and we would use a lot of different types of products and different type of stimulations, and I don't know, it's hard to explain it because I don't want to talk about sex. But yeah, it's like, this is almost like being a toddler, like being an infant, and being a 14 or 15-year-old, and then starting to think guys like you, but they just want to have sex with you. They don't want to be seen with you in public. They don't want to buy you anything. They don't want to date. They just want to do something and trash you. Like, it feels like I've gone 14 years, and that it's like I'm a 14-year-old. It's like the same type of, like, they're not like the whole fairy tale a few years ago was, I'm going to meet someone, we're going to contact each other, we're going to meet up a few times a week, chit-chat, tell each other good night, text each other good morning, get ready for work, send a little something, happy birthday, happy whatever, during your lunch break. And then things would start to get more serious, and then you would start making out with them, and then you would have to have that sex discussion, that STI discussion. Like, in my mind, I thought you would be like, oh, God, we should probably wait till we're married, but I don't want to get married. So, like, I feel like there, in my vision was that I would start out really slow and move towards seeing what each other could communicate about, what each other thought that relationship was at. And I've never had a relationship since my ex, so I've never had a chance to do that and experiment with it. So in this society, I feel like I work in a pizza place, I work in a grocery. You want to grab it, order it, you know what you want, you have a list, you grab it, you pay for it, and you're easy out the door. You're going through Starbucks, through the drive-thru, you want this way, you don't want this, you want this, you don't want dairy, you want non-dairy, and all this stuff. And I just feel like, you know what you want it now. And it's not a car or a pizza, it's somebody else's body, but you're not going to respect that body. You're just going to discard that body. Like, on Craigslist, I used to look at the ads, and they used to always say, I'm not looking for anything serious, just friends with benefits, and you feel like, would they really be friends? Would you just be somebody who gets a booty call a few times a week? Like, you almost feel like that would be more than what people are looking for now. Like, this is like 10 years of looking at Craigslist until they stopped it. I have it on the other website, the third website that I signed up for, and the guy is like, he's looking for friends with benefits, basically. He's about 15 years older than me. I'm just like, and he's the only one that's talked to me on this site in weeks. So I'm like, I like favored his because he favorited mine recently. And then he's like, wait, I thought we weren't compatible. And I haven't even responded because I'm like, I thought he was interesting. He sounded like his job was interesting. But I think all he wanted was just sex. Like, I don't even think that this guy wanted to, like, you could do something where you could be like, oh, I'm going to be friends with someone who has an interesting job. Maybe they could talk about it or talk about life and stay for coffee once a week. And if they were looking for friends with benefits, then they can go and have sex with someone else during the weekend, like, or after I'm, like, I don't know, like, it's like all or nothing. It's like they're not going to want to be your friend. They're not going to want to chit chat. They're not going to want to date and have a texting partner and someone to travel out of town with. They want just the sex. Like, they just want your body, and then they're like going to be like, okay, go home, and now I'm done. Like some people, they have boyfriend girlfriend relationships, and they do that sex thing, but they still hang out and have emotional connection and conversations. So these guys are not looking for conversations and texting and dinners and coffee and hang out with somebody. Like, you don't have to hang out with somebody's parents at Thanksgiving, but I think they're just looking for, here's my bed, here's my bathroom, put your stuff here, and we're done, leave. Like, I don't know, I'm not a hooker. Like, I don't know how to say it. Like not even having that as a job, but I'm not like that type of person. So during soul searching, I was never that type of person, even in my past. So it just breaks my heart that this is pretty much the only, except for that one guy that I actually met, this is the only type of people that are interested in meeting up with me, or just, and somebody stated, oh no, it would be more than a one night stand. And that guy chatted with me and pretty much dumped me, and I got scared because they're like, no, I'm not looking for a relationship, I'm not looking for this, I'm not looking for that. And that guy, I was starting to get emotionally attached, and I was just detaching myself because I'm like, I think this guy only wants sex, and I'm looking for a relationship, And now I'm like, I'm not going to meet you for sex, but I want to meet in real life and see what happens. But I was feeling emotionally attached when this guy was stating that he didn't want any of that. And so I kind of was standoffish because it's hard to ask how someone's day is and how someone's week is. And I didn't say a lot about myself. I didn't say a lot about having children. Like, this guy invited himself to my house. Like, I was just like, what the heck, you're gonna come to my house and make a bunch of noise? And I have like a twin size bed. Like, I'm not even gonna like sleep. I don't know. It's just like, because he didn't want any emotion. I was like, well, I'm down with friends. You already discussed non-monogamy, and you think again. Well, I felt desperate enough to just at least meet this guy once. We actually planned on meeting on a Saturday night, and I felt desperate enough to meet this person and just see how we felt about each other and enjoy some time with somebody, or attempt to enjoy some time with somebody, and they didn't give me a chance. And and then this guy's like, we need to seek other people, and I was like, you already talked about non-monogamy. I'm still talking to other people, and none of those other people came to fruition at all. I'm gonna go. I feel like this is really like it started off like a sexual transmitted infection, but it reflected what I revealed from soul searching, is that I hadn't really had anyone interested in me. And if there's someone interested in me, like I have texts and messages that I haven't responded to, and I'm scared of these men. And it's almost like I want somebody, like I want to jump in the shower, take a nap, jump in the shower, have someone come and get me at 7 or 8 o'clock at night. Just like tell these guys, like, oh yeah, it's my day off. I'm down with doing something that sounds fun. But I think that there's so many scary guys on the OkCupid that now I'm like scared of all of them. Like, and my intention was, I am not going to be one of those pen pal people that people keep talking about. Like, I want to meet in real life, and I want to know if there's any chemistry between us. And I think that I was ready for. I don't have friends, so I don't know what it's like to spend time with people. You know, the kids need something that's a ride to and from work, to and from school. It's not, or to and from a friend's house. It's not anymore. Back in the days, like, let's go to the park and play. Like, let's go to the library and play. Before, like, let's go walk somewhere and play tennis. Like, that's what it was. Like, I knew how to spend some time with people. I worked a lot this week. I feel like my judgment is not good right now. I had my period, and it was pretty intense. I thought I was going to die on the way to work. I almost called in. Someone called me a chicken for not calling in sick. I should have. It was intense. It was just like I was delivering pizzas, and I felt like I was having childbirth. I'm going to watch this video called Den of Thieves and eat a banana, and then it'll be time to get my kid. I actually won't be able to finish the movie. But I feel like this is the week 3, 2, 1, and I feel really sad. And it's my day off, and I try to promise myself, you work so much, and you're going to be working another 7 days in a row, or I think it's going to be 10 days in a row, and that I needed to rest. Like, I felt run into the ground, and I told myself, just do that, just rest. And today, and I really wanted to be one of those women that would go out with these guys. I don't even know why. It's because I accidentally called this one guy. I don't know why that happened. And some guy wanted to meet before like 3 on a Sunday, and I could have met this guy. I had to take my kid to work at 12:30, but like stuff like this, I didn't forget about these people. I don't know what's wrong with me right now. I don't feel well. Like, I feel like I'm gonna pass out. My throat hurts. Work kicked my butt, and they're wanting me to do some double shifts, like, or I work one job and then go for 6 hours, and I go to the next job. But I also work my clinic in the morning. I got a bunch of deadlines. Like, I'm so overwhelmed. October, I had a couple weekends off, a couple 3-day weekends, and they were horrible and they were lonely. One was my birthday weekend. Barely all I did was go to a meeting on Friday, and I'm like, maybe I should just put away my profile and freeze my accounts, because now I'm the one that's flaking out. But a lot of these guys, they seem to be sitting at home unemployed, and they're just like waiting for me to say when I'm free so they can go out. But no one's really saying, hey, are you available this day in time? But I really felt sick. I felt really weird earlier, like mentally. Now I feel like feverish and stuff. So now I'm just like, dude, you need to rest. Like, don't, like someone said, don't keep explaining yourself too much. Just be like, no, today doesn't work. I told this one guy that was so weird that I thought I'm gonna meet with him. Like, maybe I don't want to judge someone, but I'm like, maybe I should listen to my instincts. Maybe he's so weird. You don't have time. You have a lot of stuff. Like, both kids have to go to school this week. It's crazy. Monday through Friday. And I'm going to be closing, like, Monday through Thursday. I'm really scared. Excuse me. And I'm like, I'm really scared of how sick I feel right now. I'm like, maybe you should just not entertain meeting that guy. And it's not like anyone, it's like, oh, I say I'm free for a couple hours this day. It's not like anyone's like, oh, do you want to meet at Starbucks halfway between our houses? Like, I can suggest it, but none of these guys are really suggesting it. So, while I get my movie set up and get my banana, I'm just going to pray about that. I'm just going to say, God, God, can you help me with what's going on right now? Because I had one day off. Like, I kind of wish, last time I had 3 days off, I met that one guy. That's the one guy I met that I blocked within 24 hours. I was really scared of him. Part of me is like, maybe I should call him back and unblock him. Because he's like, oh, what about us? Oh, I want you to take care of you. And all this stuff. I don't know why he gave me that creepy crawly that I got from my relatives. So I don't know from toxic people. I don't know what it is. Like, I feel like he wasn't that bad, but all I could see was narcissistic, controlling, disrespectful. Someone called him microaggressive because some of the texts he wrote or ignored my text. He ignored me a lot when I talked about having a special diet, not eating cooked food, I don't eat meat. Like, he ignored all of that. And he was foreign, so I wanted to know if there was really a language barrier, but he's been here for 20 years, so he knew what I was talking about. He just decided to ignore it. There's other stuff that happened that he's like totally ignored. And then there was a couple that she wanted him to be with somebody else, so it wasn't going to be a threesome, it was going to be like an observation, and I was just like, this guy, I was like so falling for, and I thought he was single. And then I got to the end, and I thought maybe it's catfishing, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm probably talking to a chick. So the guy probably wasn't even knowing that his girlfriend put him on. It was probably the chick I was talking to the whole time. I'm really scared about that. I had this feeling in my heart like catfish one Sunday night. And then they're like, oh, let me talk to my girlfriend and see if we can all meet together at a public place. I was like, okay. And then they're like, no, we changed our minds. So they could have shown him my picture and he could have been like, blah, find somebody else. Like, that could have really happened. I was just like, some of the texts, I was like, this dude is either super sensitive and calm, or this is a chick texting me. It's like, really, like, I'm like, he chose me, she chose me. Like, I don't know if it was a dude or not. I'm like, this person chose me to I don't know, skip it. It's like you were to go out with a glove on from your head to toe, like a sterile glove that's sealed, and just be like, okay, I'm not gonna subject myself, but I am human, and I am praying about it, and we just went through the Bible about stuff, about adultery, and about all this, and I'm just like, God, it's real time. I know there's a lot of Old Testament stories, and there's a lot of double standards, and there's a lot of people being told by God to do things that are against the Ten Commandments, so I'm like, God, I'm ready to just ask you to, like, keep me safe and help me make good decisions. But the same thing, working in a lab or having some crazy running out of a bathroom with a needle in their hand, they could be on heroin. I could get a needle stick going in a friend of mine bathroom. Like, stuff like that could happen. Seriously. Seriously.